Yo guys, so welcome back to the channel. This video is about the Vitus Mythique. I've been riding it now for a couple of weeks. Absolutely love the bike and want to give a bit more of like a longer term take on it, because I know there's a lot of people asking questions about this bike and wanting to know specific details, which I've seen. So I've just come back from a ride now and I'm going to give you some detailed feedback on a few other extra things, as well as some of the upgrades that I would potentially or will be making to this bike, or ones that you could consider or thinking about. Here's the bike. And we are on the Vitus Mythique VRX, okay? So this has got 140mm travel on the front, 140mm travel on the rear. It's a real capable bike. It isn't meant to be a top level, high end bike. It is an accessible bike, a playful bike that delivers both performance at a good price, basically. We obviously have the higher up model than this, which is the Amp, the red bike, which looks really cool in person. One thing I will say about the colours of these bikes, green on this doesn't look much when you see it on the internet, but in person it's a really cool green. A couple of things from riding today. So I've been riding the Golfy today, which is the trails behind my house, real technical, steep, tight trails, and it kind of gave me some talking points for this video, and it pointed out a few glaringly obvious things that I think other people should know too before buying one. 140mm travel bike. Up here on the Golfy, when you point this thing downhill, down some of the tighter, faster, steeper trails, the bike, I feel, is on its limit. That isn't because of the actual bike itself. I think that's because of some of the components on the bike. So first things are the tyres. Now you'll notice that I usually run WTB tyres. I haven't changed the tyres on this. It comes with Max High Roller 2s, front and rear, with EXO casings. So that's kind of like the hard, fast rolling compound, I think. Like more like a cross country tyre. When you point this thing downhill and you want to brake when you're going fast, these tyres are not the best. I found I was struggling for traction on a lot of the tracks. Oh, literally can't find grip, and struggling with finding the braking zones because the tyres are so low profile. I'm not a big fan of the tyres. I like a chunkier tyre, which is obviously a problem solved if you buy the Amp bike, because that comes with Schwalbe Magic Marys, I think, and a hand stamp on the back, so they're quite thicker, better casing tyres. New York, New York. Bike is rolling super fast today. Hard tyres. Oh! Put mud in my eyes straight away. Let's see how the bike goes in the tight woods. It's dark. Pumps real well. Trees are so damn tight. Oh, I nearly just cut my bar on that tree. Oh. Tyres are a little bit skitty. Probably because I've got quite high pressure. Slippy.
Yeah, greasy.
Greasy or greasy?
Both.
Tell you what, these brakes are not the best on longer descents with smaller rotors. Pumping up, and you know, and the brake doesn't bite.
Are they just the two parts?
Yeah. Hard compound tyres are not the one. So if I was buying this bike, the first thing I would change would 100% be the tyres, because I think they would have the biggest change in the bike's performance straight out of the box. Like, it's already a good bike out of the box for the price. I think as of recording this, it's like £1,600, so I don't really know if you can argue with that. Tyres would make a massive upgrade straight away. So yeah, the bike as it comes, super fast rolling. Not so great on some of the descents, but for climbing, this bike, with it being 29er, a lightweight trail bike, it climbs so easily, it is ridiculous. It's almost laughable how much better this bike climbs than my enduro bike, which has obviously bigger tyres, it's a little bit heavier, a little bit more travel. So that's one amazing thing I like about how fast this bike climbs. So suspension, both bikes, this one and the one up, the Amp, comes with a RockShox Deluxe shock, which you can't adjust, so you can't lock it out. Annoying in some respects. I mean, there's less things to go wrong on the shock is the way I'm looking at it. So once you've set it up, I just leave it. Set it and forget it kind of shock. Oh my god, it's dark in the woods. It takes like a few seconds for your eyes to adjust. Whoa! And now it's bone dry. Whoa. It's like a downhill pump track. Oh God. We ran off the track. Whoa, this is fast now. Whoa! Christ!
There.
Yeah, I see it. You done it?
No.
Before now? Bicycle rider.
Not sure where the landing is.
There isn't really one. Oh no!
You alright, mate?
Oh, he's bent his bars. That's what I don't like about this track, how tight some of the stumps are. Like when you lean into the corners, you can feel your bars.
Going real close.
Yeah, like millimetres away. I've not seen an Instagram clip of it yet, so it's not allowed yet. No. You need your ID to jump this. Maybe you can be the first, I'll gram you. It doesn't actually look that big, you just pump, pull, land and turn to the corner. That was alright. Forks have got Marzocchi Bomberette Z2s. Again, they are okay. They are not the greatest fork. I think the forks that come on the Amp, the higher model up, the Pike forks, are a much bigger improvement. But again, arguing with the price, it's like £1,600. You can't really argue with that. They're okay. You can obviously adjust the spring, make the spring firmer or softer, and we've got air pressure and rebound on the bottom. Wheels, I haven't actually had to adjust the spokes just yet. I feel maybe after this video I'm going to just go and give the bike a once over because it has had a bit of a thrashing. And when you're attacking on trails, you can feel the bike is almost on its limit in terms of like the components. I can feel that anyway. I feel the spokes might need a bit of a tighten, but they're okay wheels. Okay wheels with Vitus branded hubs, which I guess are probably just private label hubs. A 32 chainring, which I would probably look to upgrade to maybe a 32 or a 34 because I quite like having a bigger chainring. 32 chainring was good for pedaling up hills, made light work of the climb, so I like that. And obviously we've got that paired with the SLX derailleur and cassette on the back to make it super easy to get uphill. I don't like the fact that when you set off going downhill, because of the small chainring on the front, you tend to be at the lower end of the gears all the time, so I don't like that. You can solve that easily with a bigger chainring. This is so fast.
Fast rolling?
Yeah, like hard tyres, hard suspension. You know, it feels like a hardtail.
Mate, it's insane how much difference the tyres make. I had a bike with some of them on it the other week and I was just like, holy f***.
Trail centre stuff would be sweet, but for this stuff, yeah, and when you're trying to brake, you have to be real featherweight, like light.
Yeah.
Oh, got clipped out. Can't get clipped in. Whoa. Next thing I want to talk about are the brakes. Out of the box again, these are just Shimano Dior brakes. They're not very fancy at all. They're the same Shimano lever body as most Shimano brakes use. You adjust the reach in here with an Allen key. Again, a bit annoying, but they are just like budget brakes. They work, they're two piston, but they do come with 160mm rotors, which I actually think is quite a bit of a pain, especially for the things that I've been riding. You can already see here the discs are starting to pretty much glaze over. Because of the combination of the tyres and the 160mm rotors on steeper tracks here, it was real hard to slow down. Like the brakes, you could almost feel they weren't biting. So I feel this bike now has been ridden for a few months and I'm going to have to replace the pads and the discs. This can easily be solved by bigger rotors, which, ironically, the Amp comes with 180mm rotors front and rear. So that's an improvement straight away. But if you had the VRX bike like this, I would definitely be looking to get bigger rotors. Bigger rotors, bigger tyres. Another good thing, we can fit a big, if you wanted to, you could fit a big 750mm water bottle in there. Loads of space in there, which is quite cool. Dropper post. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the large bike. It is a large bike. And it comes with a 150mm drop post, which I have long legs. And I need like a 200mm drop post really. So it'd be nice to see a bigger drop post on there. Not essential, but if you're doing a lot of pedaling, could be something to consider. Handlebars, again, I actually haven't cut these bars down. These are 780 right now. And my preferred handlebar width is about 750, 760, so a bit on the narrower side. Stem, interesting one actually. And I only noticed this on today's ride. This is a 50mm nuke-proof Neutron stem or something. I did actually feel when I was riding the steeper tracks, the bike, like this is large, right? And if you compare this large bike to my Summit, this is 10mm longer. So there is it's a little bit bigger. And you can definitely feel that on some of the tighter, steeper tracks. I felt a little bit more pitched on the bike, like a bit higher up, which to me wasn't a great feeling. To combat that, I think a shorter stem would probably fix that. So maybe something like a 35mm stem, just to bring the reach in a little bit. Just to give you a bit of feedback if you're looking at getting a large bike, or you want to know what the sizing is like of a bike. I've got a large Summit and this is a little bit bigger than the Summit, so I guess it's probably the same for all the models, but you can check the geometry on the website. Bearings, I haven't had to touch the bearings, which is great. Oh! What? It's slippy. I'm actually finding it quite hard to find grip. Alex is just pulling away. I haven't got much confidence in the tyres. Oh, literally can't find grip. Overall, I really do enjoy the bike. Like it's brought back like happy memories of why I decided to ride in the first place, why I chose to start riding when I was like 15, 16, because it's just it's a really fun bike to ride. If you're just thrashing around in the woods, it's fun. If you're just wanting to ride trail centers, it's fun. If you want to ride steeper stuff, the stuff here at the Golfy or things like that, it may be in its depth. I think like you'll be pushing the bike quite a lot. But again, if you've got decent tyres, a little bit bigger rotors, you can slow down, the bike sizing is correct, I think it'll be a really good machine. It's a funny one because we've talked about all these upgrades and stuff, and if you look at the price between the VRX and the Amp, there's only a few £100 price difference at the minute of recording this. It's like 250 quid, £300. And if it was me personally and I was looking to buy one of these bikes, I would probably spend the extra money and go with the Amp, mainly because it comes with the better components out the box. I think out the box you get SLX brakes, which is a good improvement, bigger discs, great improvement, better forks, great improvement, bigger rotors, upgraded wheels. So it's an all-round better build, I would say. If you are on a budget and you want to stick with the VRX to start with, this is still a solid build. And if you were just riding trail centers or stuff around the UK, such a fun bike. But with a couple of little upgrades to tires and like anything like contact points, basically, tires, brakes, you are onto a winning bike. So I hope that has answered some questions for you guys looking at maybe getting one of these bikes, or like my thoughts on the Mythique right now. I really do like this bike. If you have any questions on it, drop them in the comments, I'll get back to you. Give this video a like if it was useful, helps this channel spread it to more people, and we'll see you in the next video.